Hey everybody, welcome back. David Eon and the gorgeous Miss Lady Pop Hunter, and just sharing a conversation. Now, we had casually mentioned a couple of times something that we do together that feeds into our nostalgia culture. And people have asked about it. A couple of people asked, can you elaborate? Yeah, we can do that. Basically, we watch a lot of vintage shows. And we own the shows. We have hard copies. We don't stream anything.
That's not true. We stream stuff.
Well, you know what I mean. The stuff that we have that we watch, we're not really streaming. But we do watch stuff that is streamed, like Viking, for example.
We watch
Vikings. So, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But the stuff that we're going to show is hard copy, like actual DVDs. We own them. And every day of the week, we have a different day for different shows. So like right now on Monday, it shows from like the 50s/60s. And that would be like, for example, Alfred Hitchcock Presents and The Twilight Zone, which still holds up because any attempt to duplicate the show has been a dismal failure.
We tried watching the
new one. Oh, it was awful.
We got about 10 minutes into the first episode and had to turn it off.
Yeah, so much vulgarity, we just couldn't.
Yeah, it was just.
Didn't want to listen to it.
It was just horrible.
And they bragged about how vulgar it was. It was like, yeah, there's going to be cussing. It'll be great. Not really.
No.
Tuesday is 70s. So we got Night Gallery, also with Rod Serling, which is pretty cool and has a lot of interesting celebrity appearances.
Yeah.
The one we watched last night had Orson Welles.
Yeah, he was the narrator.
He narrated the whole thing because it was like a dramatic reading. And Battlestar Galactica, which is freaking awesome.
Thumbs down.
You like it.
Thumbs down.
No way. She enjoyed it. She's been enjoying it.
Out of whatever we watched, I only like one episode, which was a 2-part episode, and that's it.
The Living Legend?
Yeah, the guy that they thought was dead.
She's been into it. She talked about it constantly. She's just messing with me because she knows I'm huge on Battlestar.
I'm not messing.
Whatever. 80s. V. Which the miniseries is much better than the actual weekly show.
It is.
Because it was there were 2 miniseries. There was one, and then there was another one, and then there was V, the actual television show. Which the television show, it's okay, but it's not anywhere near as good as the original miniseries.
Yeah.
And Seinfeld, which is an 80s/90s show. Seinfeld is a lot of fun.
Seinfeld is hilarious.
It still holds up. It's a lot of fun.
Is.
And then Thursday is after school cartoons, and we're doing right now He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, which I know a lot of people. It's a cool show. Stop it.
Cats.
Kitties are chasing each other.
All they do is fight.
They don't really fight, but they chase each other around.
And they take swipes at each other.
Yeah, but it's not like, nothing you need to get in the middle of. But anyway, now Crumb is hiding behind me.
And she's at the door waiting.
A lot of people, this is a classic favorite. It's well drawn. It's funny. It's fun to watch. The animation has good motion, and that's a thing. Some animation doesn't track well, and you're looking at it and it's choppy. It's got good flow to it. There's a lot to be said. There's an ethical aspect to the show. And then Thundercats.
Yeah.
And this is, you watch it as an adult, it's better than you remember. When you slow down and you watch it, you're like, wow, this is well drawn. The story makes sense.
Yeah.
It's fun. And then Friday is Saturday mornings. And right now we're doing Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, which, again, Filmation. This is a really good show.
It is funny. I didn't
really
remember.
Good.
I remember watching it.
Yeah.
But I did not know that show was funny. The things they say, it's just like...
It's true.
Oh my God. It's hilarious. And when we watch it, we'll Twilight Zone and Night Gallery and the hour-long shows, we might watch 1 or 2 episodes. The 30-minute shows, we might watch 3 or 4.
2 or 3, or yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something I was going to get to here in a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I jumped the gun.
you're fine. But and then the Smurfs.
The Smurfs are funny.
Which are freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
This show is really funny and it holds up. So these two for Saturday mornings, some of the best of 80s, 70s really, because this started in 1972. 70s and 80s Saturday morning cartoon stuff. This is some of the best that Saturday morning cartoons had to offer. But we're loving the Smurfs and we're loving the Fat Albert. And there's good ethical and moral stories in here too. You know, like and stuff you might not remember or wouldn't think about, like Fat Albert getting into trouble because his friend's older brother was a drug dealer.
Yeah.
And set Albert up, and Albert got arrested. And it's like, people don't remember that. They don't remember that kind of stuff went on. And it's still hilarious.
Yeah.
But where she was alluding to is binge watching culture. Everything is streamed now, and people will tend to binge watch. And we've even done it. We did it with Lost, and what was the other one? With Walking Dead. Yeah. And the problem with that is because, you know, the instant gratification culture with modern technology and computers and cell phones and all this garbage. But when you cram it, you miss a lot.
Yeah, you do. Especially, and it's easy to do, especially if you have Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, because they're all right there. And then you just go one to the next, to the next, to the next.
Yeah.
And it makes it so easy to just get it all through. But we find out, like, we watch once a week. We watch these, and then on Saturdays we watch like Viking, and it's a show that we watch called
The
Fortitude.
Expanse. We watched The Expanse.
Yeah, but The Expanse is over
off,
now.
yeah.
But yeah, The Expanse, when it comes back on, a show called Fortitude. No, yeah, Fortitude.
Yeah, Fortitude.
That's a good one. And
then,
there was another one we were
because
watching.
Saturdays is modern shows, and then we just watch one
episode
at a time.
Yeah, and that's the day that we'll scream a show, you know, find something. We had one on YouTube we were watching until, 2. And then they said, okay, you can watch 2 episodes and you got to buy the rest.
I hate that. You're already paying for everything.
Yeah,
and then,
so I don't want to pay for that.
And watching ads.
Yeah.
And I always have a huge problem with that because I'm old enough to remember when cable first came out. And the moniker of cable, all of their advertising, cable television, where you will never see a commercial because you're paying for it.
Yeah, well.
And yeah, now you pay for it and you're bogged down with commercials. And they want you to pay again to complete series and to see certain films and stuff. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
People got hoodwinked.
Yeah, and, you know, so that makes it kind of rough. But, you know, we have Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
We got rid of Netflix and Hulu and all of that stuff. And we're on that now, so we'll find a show there. And on Sundays we'll watch a movie, like a made-for-TV movie. And
those old made-for-TV movies from like the 70s, 80s are actually really good. Some of them.
It is.
They really are.
We really don't watch any movie after 2000 because it's real vulgar.
Yeah.
You know, you start seeing stuff you just don't want to see.
And there's a lot of graphic sex, and it's not even necessary. You know, the older films, it's enough to imply it. You get the point. You don't have to watch the whole thing in graphic detail, and we don't want to see it. No. You know, that's just us. Yeah. You know, some people might like that, but, you know, we don't care for it.
And then they all got a political agenda.
Yeah, a lot of them do. And that's like, annoying.
I don't want it.
And also, like a vintage kung fu movie.
Yeah,
we're big on the classic like 70s goofy jumping 30 feet in the air and landing on the top of a house backwards. Yeah, stupid stuff that they do. It's fun. It's funny.
It is, and those are on YouTube, and it's like 1 million of them on YouTube.
It's
and
fun.
If you have Tubi, it's like 1 million of them on Tubi. And we just pick one we haven't seen, and we'll watch that. And you know that keeps us up to date without getting into all of the new drama that they have out with these modern TV shows. I was at my parents' house and they were watching Big Bang Theory, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is so disgusting."
It's mind-numbing
It
bad
was
it is.
so awful.
Yeah.
That show. And I mean, I watched one episode and I was like, how are they sitting there watching that?
I've seen it too, and I'm like, why is this, how did this get so many seasons? Who's watching this? Where's all this critical acclaim coming from? Oh, this is the best show ever. It is?
It was
compared
awful.
To what?
I don't know. Compared to nothing.
And again, maybe you like it. I don't know.
I don't know.
I've thrown that out there a few times, and I always hear back, yeah, that show wasn't that great. But what are you going to do? But again, with the binge watching,
oh yeah, the binge.
I think that's a classic error, and you're missing a lot, because back in the old days, but when there were 3 major networks and then PBS and then a couple of UHF stations, and no cable, you had the show came out. It wasn't 8 episodes is a season.
Yeah, it was like 23 to 24.
Yeah, 23, sometimes more. For example, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was 64 episodes a season.
Well, it came on every day.
Yeah, I know, but just for comparison purposes, because the cartoon comes out now, they don't do that. But it would come out. It was in a certain time slot. You watched it. It aired one time, and then you didn't see it again. You would see it in the off season, because they would produce enough for it to fill a 6-month slot. That's how many episodes it would fill a 6-month slot. And while they were filming for the next season, then they would replay that slot the other 6 months. So you might catch it again if you knew when it was going to come up again. You check your TV guide. They don't even have TV guide anymore, I don't think.
I don't think so.
But if you missed it, you'd have to wait 6 months to see it again. And then after that, you would not see it again until the show was canceled, and maybe it ends up in syndication on a UHF station. So otherwise, no. And it wasn't available in box sets. You couldn't go to Walmart and buy it. You didn't see it again for like years and years.
Yeah, and DVD came out because they didn't even make VCR tapes of the seasons.
No.
I don't think so.
No, not until much later. Not until like the 90s. They started doing box sets, because I remember like the Good Times box set being advertised. Who was it? Time Life or somebody was offering it, and that was expensive, because when people forget when VHS tapes first came out. I remember Twins being advertised for $89.95.
Yeah, but you can't get a lot on one but one tape.
One good quality tape ran for 2 hours maximum.
Yeah, so with that you're gonna only get about 4 episodes.
Because there were 4 ratios for recording: 2, 4, 6, and 8 hours. But the further you stretched it, the lower the quality got. So for a high quality VHS that ran about 2 hours, that's what you're paying. It was big money back in the days.
Yeah.
But by binging, and I talked to somebody not too long ago, they had 5 seasons of something that they were watching, and they were watching like 10 episodes a day because they wanted to blow through it. They're like, oh, I've got all these box sets from all these great TV shows that I used to watch when I was a kid, and I got to get through them. And he was watching 10 episodes a day. He blew through like 5 seasons in a couple of weeks. And I was asking him, because I had watched it not too long ago with one of my sons, the same show. I think it was the A-Team. I was like, do you remember this? Do you remember this? And he's like, no. He didn't remember this part. He didn't remember Boy George guest starring in one episode.
Boy George was on
Yeah, he guest starred in one episode in season 4. And he's like, Boy George was in one? It's like, you had to say, he was in the whole episode. He was like with the team. Dude, you binge watched it and you blanked out and missed it. You got like road hypnotized. Like you've been driving 6 hours and you're like, where am I? And the lines are just flying at your face.
Like when I broke my foot, I had foot surgery.
Yeah, she had foot surgery.
I binge watched so much stuff because I had nothing else to do, couldn't move. So I finally watched Lost.
Yeah.
And I watched all of that and some other shows that were on Netflix when we had Netflix. A bunch of other shows that I would have never
probably
watched if I wasn't stuck. But yeah. But we have some other stuff.
You forget. You're really not watching it. It's just kind of like blanking out. You're doing yourself a disservice. And basically what I'm saying is slow down. You know the old adage, stop and smell the roses? If you're going to binge watch, you're not stopping to smell them, you're trampling them. You're totally missing it. And you're like, well, how am I going to get through it? Take your time. You got all the time in the world.
One day at a time.
If you got like 30 box sets of shows from the 80s that you really want to watch, and it takes you 10 years to watch them, wouldn't you rather enjoy it, watching them an episode at a time, rather than cramming them all to get all up and like getting it over in a couple of months, and then you're like, now what? You know, that's all we're saying. You can do whatever you want, but we've learned that this way it's a lot more fun. So just slow it down, and even like we said, and again, you can do it however you like, but doing it like era specific.
That was his idea.
It was my idea, but I've been enjoying that. You know, and it's kind of reminiscent of when we were kids, and that's how you had to watch it anyway. But yeah, and we've got a bunch of other stuff lined up. I know you have some stuff you wanted to watch next. She got a couple of things sitting here.
Yeah, Castle Rock, the first and second season.
Which is a more modern show.
But this is a great show. It used to come on Hulu. Yeah, and they canceled it. Yeah. They canceled it. It's by Stephen King. And it has the guy that plays Pennywise is the kid.
In the film. Yeah.
And
or the show, rather.
The show. Excellent film. I mean, not film, TV show.
Show.
I think it's an excellent
And it's
show.
Interesting the way he loops it without giving away too much. He ties in a lot of his other stories into this. This explains the narrative for a lot of his other films.
Yeah, and I like...
it kind of like adds some adherence to the entire Stephen King universe, if you will.
And I like the way he does that, and how it is slow enough to open up the whole thing without being like, okay, you dragging this out. It's no dragging out.
Yeah, because sometimes you can tell. Will you two stop? They're running around in here again.
And then we have Swamp Thing from the 90s.
Yes.
I've seen the recent one, the one from what, like 2018 or 19. The first one I ever saw that came out. Absolutely loved that show. I hated that they ended it.
Yeah, it was doing well and they killed it.
Yeah, I thought it was an excellent TV show.
What do you think?
So I got the one from the 90s, and I hope it's good. We'll see.
Kitty.
And then the Masters of the Universe. I've talked about this one.
200X.
Yeah, the 200X. I've talked about this several times. Very good show. It's more of a teen/adult theme, I guess.
Yeah, I think they kind of meant for like something to give closure to people in our age group, to help explain a lot of what was going on, and it was pretty good. I've seen some of it, but now we got the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh heck yeah! And this show is better than you think when you go back as an adult and watch it, because we've seen a few episodes and we're like, hey, that's actually pretty well done.
Yeah, because it's live streamed on YouTube.
Yeah, but like only a handful.
Yeah, and you know, one night we were just sitting there, and I was like, oh, okay, let's just see. And they had a show, and it's like, whoa, that actually has a storyline.
Yeah, it was well drawn. It was well written. There's a couple of little nudges in there for the adult viewer.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, wait a minute. What did they just say?
Batman the animated series, one of my all-time favorite cartoon. Love Batman the animated series.
Yeah. And that was unique too, because they used dark colored cells to make the whole series look gloomy instead of using clear cells.
Downton Abbey.
She loves Downton.
Can't wait to get into watch this all over again.
Oh no!
I love period dramas. I do.
That's fine.
And I love, BBC period dramas.
A lot of BBC programs are pretty decent.
Yeah, movies and TV shows. Then we got DuckTales and Davy and Goliath. You know, so stuff like that
And
is
I've
what
got
we have. And he has some more.
I have a huge library of like
Yeah.
vintage Saturday morning cartoons, after school
Mm-hmm.
cartoons, original 70s Sesame Street, original
Yeah.
70s Electric Company.
Dukes
which,
of Hazzard.
Yeah, I got the Dukes of Hazzard. And the Sesame Street, especially, when you go back and you watch the old one in comparison to the new one, it's like a different planet. The old one, even as an adult, because I watched a couple episodes and I'm like, wow, you know, there's a plot, there's a story, it's funny.
Yeah,
It really,
Big Bird is really kind of.
yeah, Big Bird's got a small head. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
He's dopey.
on a real old one, but the new one, you listen to some of the things Big Bird is saying, and you like, what is his problem?
Yeah, but it was fun even as an adult. I was like, wow, and
Yeah.
boy, talk about bringing memories back.
Yeah,
But Star Blazers, and we got tons of old shows and old movies
Yeah.
from the 70s, 80s.
and some of it we went on eBay and Amazon and bought some. You know, after we started this whole project,
Yeah.
and just bought some more. Like, oh yeah, I remember that. I want to see that, and it's good to have. You know, in case whatever happens, you know, you lose your internet. I mean, yeah, your internet, or you know, you just get tired of paying that outrageous cable bill.
No kidding.
Yeah, and then they don't have it all on Netflix. Like Batman the animated series, you can't find it on Netflix or something.
And the
And they want you to pay for it
the
all the
original
time.
Muppet Show, which is really fun to watch because, again, and most people don't make the connection, the Muppet Show was a prime time television show. It was written for adults.
Mm-hmm.
It's adult humor, not kids' humor. And it's actually really funny because he had... Jim Henson had separated them. He had the Sesame Street Muppets, and then he had the Muppet Muppets. And the Muppet Muppets was for adults and for merchandising. And Sesame Street was only supposed to be for education.
Yeah.
And Fraggle, and then there was Fraggle Rock and a few other things he did.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know, he died, and Disney got it, and they
Sold it to HBO.
hashed it all up and made a mess out of it.
And
but-
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Rocky and Bullwinkle, again, really not for kids. If you watch the show and you listen to especially when they start making jokes about paying taxes, it's like, you know that they're not talking to children.
But yeah, that's something that we're doing, and how we, you know, try to keep the nostalgia going, and also watch something that's actually entertaining. Because a lot of the
a
newer
lot of modern
shows,
shows.
you know, we've tried watching and didn't get through one episode.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, we can't watch this anymore. And you know, the premise seemed like it's going to be good. You read the little write-up, and you're like, oh, okay, this is something might
Yeah,
get
and it's
into.
got 4 stars. You're like,
Yeah.
maybe it'll be all right. And then,
But I found out, you know, I look at the date it came out.
yeah.
And if it came out after 2000, I usually don't even try.
Exceptions.
Exceptions.
There are exceptions.
exceptions.
Like
The Joker.
The Punisher.
The Punisher. All of those Marvel shows.
The Marvel shows,
Except for that boy that got lost.
Iron Fist.
I did not like that.
Iron Fist, they kind of botched. They could have done a lot better with that character, and they didn't do it.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage was really good.
The
Punisher
blind
was really
guy.
good. Daredevil,
Yeah,
they did a
Daredevil.
good job on.
They
And
did.
there was what was that other one with the woman? I can't think of.
Who, Jessica?
Jessica Jones.
We
Yeah,
never saw
I didn't.
Jessica
Yeah, but
Jones.
when her character appeared on the other shows, I didn't care for her. It made me not want to ever see Jessica Jones.
She never came on no other show.
She did.
I didn't see that episode.
You know what? You didn't see the crossovers. That's why.
No, I didn't.
I saw the crossovers and
Oh,
she
okay.
didn't, and I was like, "Oh wow, she's a pain in the butt."
Yeah, but it is a handful of modern shows. Like we said, Vikings, Swamp
Yeah.
Thing, The Expanse is good. Viking, I like Viking.
Although with the Expanse, the last season had a lot of foul language.
It did.
It just suddenly, it's like they hire new writers, or what happened? Suddenly, everybody's
Yeah.
cussing like every
cussing up a
sentence.
storm.
Yeah,
And you know, so that kind of made it like, man, I think I'm gonna stop. But we are so far invested. It's really like 5
Yeah.
seasons in.
or like I had talked about with The Boys.
Ooh,
I couldn't finish watching it. I couldn't. It was so
just
much.
vulgar.
Yeah, so much swearing
And
and
then
so
they
much
masturbate all the time, all over the place.
bizarre sex acts going on
Yeah.
on the show, and I'm like, oh, come on, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
The
I've
story was good
seen
enough, although
half or two episodes, and that was
yeah, I heard that's what the comic book is like, though.
oof.
So I don't know, but I haven't read the book. I'm probably not going to.
No, not if you know it's going to be like that.
But yeah, I mean, we're set for the next decade. Just on seriously, I mean, all the stuff we got, hell, just the Saturday morning stuff I got and afternoon stuff I have, spacing it out the way we do, plus our other activities, because we only do like two. Like
Yeah, we do
again,
2 a night.
like I said, Thursday is Masters of the Universe and Thundercats. So a couple of episodes of this, couple episodes of this, and we're done.
Yeah.
Because we do a lot of other stuff. We don't just sit in front of the TV all the time. And that's our recommendation. It's just, slow down, enjoy it, do it the way that they were meant to be viewed. Because that's how these shows were meant to be viewed. Just, one at a time, take your time, soak it in. You'll remember it better. You'll probably enjoy it better. It was a cultural thing back in the day and that's lost in culture, I think, now, where an episode of something come out and the next morning you go and you talk to your friends or you go to school and think, wow, did you see such and such last night?
Yeah, that's what we used to do. Get on the bus and talk about a show that came on, and we talk about that for a while, how we like it, what we didn't like, and all of this, and it was good.
Yeah, I remember talking with kids at school about the A-Team. When I got to school, the last night's episode of the A-Team, or talking with kids in the neighborhood about last night's episode of Knight Rider, stuff like that. And that's gone in culture, but because you only got an episode at a time, and you paid attention.
Yeah, you paid strong attention.
You paid attention to it.
Yeah.
And like I said, there was some questions.
Yeah, there was some questions about how we did that because it was mentioned. So, we decided to talk about it.
Yeah, and we hope you got something out of that. You have any other points?
No, that's it, I think.
Okay. But, yeah. Do you watch vintage shows? How do you do it? Do you like what we're doing? Do you have a different method? Tell us about it in the comment section down below.
Some recommendations
Yeah,
of
some
shows.
recommendations of shows, maybe. Whatever floats your boat. Because everybody does things a little different. Yeah. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. All that good stuff. Check out our other videos. We're all in nostalgia here. We do a lot of other stuff. Vintage Toy Fair catalog tours and tours of conventions and
we have one coming up this weekend.
Yeah, toy collector discussions. And I wonder if this will go out before or after we go to the show. She's talking about Toylanta.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be at Toylanta. This might come out after that.
Oh, okay. Well, then scratch it. Forget I said anything.
I don't know, because we got kind of a full itinerary for getting videos up.
Oh.
But we're doing our best, folks. We're trying here. I don't want to be putting up like 5 videos a day.
Oh no! Why not?
I don't know. Probably
people can binge watch it.
Yeah, it'd probably be overwhelming for some people.
Yeah.
Or showcases of vintage toys. We do a lot of vintage toy stuff, and we have our toy museum and so on and so forth. So if you're new to the channel, check it out. Maybe you'll see something you like. So what more can I say? But thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.